This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so let's start the session. So digital marketing. Um, I'm sure this is something which is quite familiar to you, like in terms of how you're taking the services in today's scenario, like be it shopping, or you want to travel somewhere, you want to book a place to stay for the same, for you plan a trip, and even if you'd like to, you know, get some food delivered to your place. So everything we are using an application, or we have websites for that. So in our day-to-day life, our our life is mostly dependent on the internet, the technology, and so just like you, we are around millions and billions of people. So everyone are using such services. Uh, that is the place to be in, right? If you are a person who's into marketing. So what is basically marketing? Let's see the slide first. I hope the screen is visible. Any delay, please let me know. I'm in the marketing page. Is that visible? I think you're still seeing digital marketing. Just let me know when it's visible. What page is being shown to you? Just let me know. Yeah, you can let me know in the chat section as well. Okay, okay, got it. I'll just check it. Give me a minute. I'm just checking the network. I think it should be visible now. Yes. You see marketing on your screen. Can I get the information in the chat section now? The chat section. I'll just work on the network and it should be fine. So marketing. Shall we begin? Are you able to see? Okay, great. So marketing, it's an action or business of promoting and selling products or services, which includes market research and advertising. See why they mentioned business here is, even if you go for a good movie, I think what's currently trending is Kashmir Files is trending. Now there's a new movie out there, RRR. So when you go watch the movie and come back, there is a short reason that you're going to tell your friends and influence them, or I mean, see, not the friends who would have taken along, but the others you come in contact on daily basis. You come back and tell how good the movie is and what is it about. On the same lines, I think this movie Kashmir Files, which um, didn't have any promotions, just word of mouth, how it snowballed, and today it's such a hit. And again, if you see the other side of it, the new movie, which again, the promotions, how much of promotion has been done. But here, what I want you to understand is, here we don't have any commercial motive, but we're still speaking about it. We experienced the movie. Uh, we might have liked it. We have not. We write a review. So anything, some interaction, some feedbacks are there. And if it's good, it's on the on the positive side. We influence people around us to watch it, or we might even take them and go along with second time. So here the point is we are influencing because we have experienced it as a consumer or as a viewer, and we're telling other people to watch it. But there's no commercial motive. But as a marketer, it is your duty to get that bread and butter. We go out there and market our product and service. So you might have the best quality product and service, or you can have the best product at a very reasonable price, which others will not be able to match. But if you're not able to get the word out there and let them know you're doing this and how are they benefiting, okay, then it's of no use, no matter how good your product and service are. So this basic act, that's why I mentioned both. It's an action which might not have a commercial intention or a business motive where you're promoting and selling product and services. So first you promote and then you take it to a point where the selling happens of the product and services. So which will not just have a plain reference of, so when you come to the actual term of marketing, it will not a plain word of mouth or one's opinion. There'll also be some market research. When you're seeing the marketer point of view, there'll be some market research and advertising which will be going. So if you say what is the difference between advertising and marketing? Can anyone let me know what is advertising and what is marketing? So you can put your answers in
Uh,
the chat section. Yeah, you can let me up, please.
Sir, advertising is part of marketing, sir, but marketing is a
Exactly.
broad term. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's what I want to tell you. So advertising is a sub concept of marketing. But I mean, yeah, advertising is a sub concept of marketing. Marketing is huge. It involves a lot of concepts, a lot of things which are strategies, how you promote and sell. And see that if you also need to look into this, marketing will come into your expense part of your balance sheet, and sales is your income. But for a sales to trigger and for sales to happen, marketing is essential and it's core. So only when you bring in, okay, when you see, even see this image on the screen, let me just take it to full screen. I'll just make it full screen, 1 minute. So by the definition, you have the first one is marketing. It says action or business of promoting and selling product or services, including market research and advertising. So the first image, what you see there, you consider yourself as the orange person. Okay, all around you, you have a market or a group of people or certain region, some geographical location, say Bangalore or any area. All right, there you see one is highlighted, the other isn't. So we need to find out. So in our circle or wherever we are, we'll be having audiences. So in those audiences, we need to find who our customers are. So first, they might be strangers, then you get some attention. They can be audience, like you reach out to them, create some awareness, and they'll be into your audience. And finally, they'll interested, they turn into customers. And after customers, they'll be your promoters. So that's how brands basically grow. Uh, so we have this concept of first is visibility, and then comes credibility, and finally profitability. For a business to be profitable, they have to go through this phase. First, they need to be visible. Uh, Put themselves out there. It can be in terms of you have. I mean, even we're still not gone to digital marketing. Say you're starting a store or a restaurant tomorrow, you should be visible in the locality. People should know you exist. You have established yourself and your business is open and open for getting people in. It can be, you can traditional marketing, you can put up an ad. If not ad in the newspaper, you can even you have these newspaper inserts, like these small pamphlets. When early morning they do this, depending on the budget of the company, something as basic as that. Or people even go around, have manpower, give out these flyers person to person. That's all traditional ways of marketing. You can have an ad on the newspaper as well, run it on a radio, TV, and all these mediums. You can have a huge billboard. That depends on the budget. So again, we're talking about traditional ways of marketing. Basically, to get the first point of visibility. We need to be visible to people around. So we are open for business, and they know we will be providing them some product or service which might be of value for them, depending on their requirement. Okay. Out of those, like I told you, some are bold and some are not highlighted. So that is our task to find out who would be our prospects in those audiences. You'll have to find out who can be your prospects. Just give me a minute, 1 second. Sorry. So we need to find out in those audiences who are our likely prospects, who can be a future customer. And once we do that, what would be our next goal is taking them towards a place where the sale might happen. Correct? You've been visible. You started. Okay, let's take the example of a restaurant itself. So you have started a restaurant. You have started your publicity activity, and people know. And then anyone having issues, I'm just getting messages on the WhatsApp group. If anyone having issues logging in, let me know. I think you almost have the majority of the strength there, 41. I see some messages on the group now. Yeah, if you have to access, just tell your friends they need to download the application, then they'll be able to access. Okay. So once that is done, you're visible, you found out who your prospects are, there should be an action of taking them towards a destination. Maybe bringing them to your restaurant, giving them service, letting them know what's on the menu, what can you offer them, and how are you unique, what's your USP over to other restaurants. So if you start a restaurant tomorrow, you'll not be the only one who will be running it, right? You'll have competition in every street. So you need to be very clear what is your USP, why should they come to you. So being unique is very important. So there comes the topic of niche. So you need to pick up your niche, your topic of expertise, and work on it. Because if you want to do everything in digital marketing, that's going to be, or in marketing, that's going to be a little trouble. So we need to find our niche. Okay, so you'll be getting your customers towards the restaurant. And next, I'm just going along with the example of the restaurant here. Okay, next comes 4 P's of marketing. So what is 4 P's of marketing? Generally, if you take up marketing, this will be all the concepts you'll be taught. As in, you can say a marketing mix. So what product and service are you planning to offer your customers? Then, at what price have you planned to give out these products and services? Then the third one, place or distribution. Okay, basically, how convenient is the location where they can access the product or service, or how are you willing to distribute your product and service? Okay, distribute your product and provide your service. Finally, promotion. So you do all this and you don't promote, you're not selling anything. It's not reaching out to the people. Okay, so all the 4 P's are very essential. See, product. Now I was telling you about restaurant. Okay, let's go back to that example of restaurant. So if it is a North Indian, okay, let's take an actual one. If it's a South Indian community, the location where we are considering to start a restaurant, we'll have a lot of South Indian people. And there, if you go and start an authentic North Indian restaurant, you are niche there. Okay, you're very unique. It should be either too good or something which they haven't done before. Then you have chances of getting customers from there and also elsewhere. But your better chances of it would be starting a South Indian restaurant and providing to that community, that area. And again, look for places where you can cater to that North Indian crowd. So basically, understanding your audience. Now, if you start a high-end cafe in a very what can I say, in an area where they'll not be able to afford the prices which you place, okay, the prices you put up, then the chances of you getting the customers are quite less. It's not that they'll not turn up. You'll be customers might be the one who are passing by, or some who are like really want to visit your place because of the product and service you provide. But the same thing, the same cafe or restaurant, you plan and place it and establish in a CBD, a central district, business district of a city where people are, working, they're around, they're traveling, shopping. The chances of you making business will be higher, correct? It'll be on all terms. In terms of transportation, people will be able to reach very easily. And if not just for your cafe, they'll be around shopping. They would have come for some other work, or they're working. So once they're done with the work, they can always drop into your cafe and then go back. So on all these terms, if you think, it'll be much easier to place your product and then price. So I told you, like if you plan to start a cafe in a community where you'll not be able to afford, or I can't say afford, which will make sense to them. So they won't be preferring to go there, but a small, a local vendor or a street food, that'll be much economical for them. So how you price? See, pricing again, it can be skimming or it can be penetration. So penetration method will be where you would like to reach out to everyone uh, in a larger segment of people. Your pricing will be low, and you'll be reaching a larger segment of people. But if you go skimming, it'll be for the cream customers or the ones on the who ready to splurge the money. It may be vague. I'll just give you an example. If you think of iPhone, the prices are high, the features are high, and everything like it's in the top end. So the same thing, you look at Samsung. All right, Samsung has equivalent high-end features and technology. Some things are even advanced than iPhone, to be honest, with Fold 3 and whatnot, all Android devices. But they're also looking at penetrating into the market. So they have priced themselves in the other models, which are much cheaper and people can afford very easily compared to Apple. If you see an Apple mobile will be starting somewhere around 25, 30. I'm just around the figure, not accurate. So somewhere around there. But Samsung, you can find it much cheaper, right? So people can afford it very easily. It reaches market very easily, and they'll also be providing more service networks and all that. It'll be more customer oriented. So that's your pricing. Then place. How conveniently are you placing your product? Your rest can be anything. It can be a store, it can be a restaurant, it can be anything where the customers can easily access it. Correct? Or if you say in terms of distribution, how convenient is it for you and your customers to avail those products and services quickly and when they really need it. So if you distribute a product and service once that need is done, it will not be making sense. Finally, with all this in place, you have a great product and service. You have placed it perfectly, and even yeah, you have placed it perfectly. You have priced it perfectly, and finally, if you don't promote that, like you don't take it out to them and let them know that you have this good product and service, which is uh, placed right, very conveniently. They can locate it very conveniently, reach there, and also which is be affordable. That word is not taken out to the audiences. They'll not be knowing about your product and services. So all four P's, when you mix it right, and then you have your perfect marketing strategy. So these are things you need to look out when you're starting a business. So finally, engagement. So you started your business, you been visible to your audiences, your prospects, everyone. They know about your company. Okay, and you've done the rest of the process, finding out who your prospects are, you're bringing them, getting calls, leads, and all that, and you've done some research on the 4Ps. Finally, if you don't retain them, you don't engage them and retain, the process starts all over. You have to start from all over, from visibility, bring them back in, engage. But the minute you start engaging them, giving them information, letting them know how are you adding value to them, and what is your USP, why should they choose you, that is very clear to the customers. See, it happens over time. Like I told you earlier, visibility, credibility, and profitability. When even later on, when we do Facebook ads, what you will be seeing there is on the top, you have awareness, consideration, and conversion. So Facebook suggests you run your campaigns first on awareness basis. Okay, so you reach out in terms of brand awareness, reach. Basically reach out to people, show them, show yourself to the customers or basically the audiences that you exist, and later on they'll consider the second step. Consideration will come in, whether to engage in the post you have run, if it's a campaign, whether to like the image, to comment, share. So that is the engagement part of it, or to watch the content you put out, might be a video. Okay, any such thing where that's the second step. That's the consideration, and finally conversion. So conversion is a stage when they are very clear about your product and service, and they're ready to make the sale. The sale is about to happen. So that is the last stage. So it starts. So like I told you again, you can note it down somewhere: visibility, credibility, and then profitability. On the other line, you can just note down below that it's awareness, consideration, and then comes your conversion.
So,
Yes, ma'am. Please tell me. Hello.
uh, sir, can you please repeat once more?
Yeah, I'll tell you. The first one is visibility. Then is
Yes.
credibility. You make
Yes,
it
sir.
credible. Yeah, visibility, credibility, profitability. Credible is you have certain, your audiences have some trust in you. Your customers have some trust. Some value is given from your end. That is credibility. And finally, profitability. So three words. Below which you can write in the other form of it, which is seen on Facebook. The first one is done. You've written down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Second one is
Sir, can you repeat the other
awareness.
one as yeah?
Yeah, awareness. This is visible on Facebook. So when we do Facebook ad campaigns, I'll be showing you this. Awareness, consideration, and conversion. We're still in marketing. Before we start, I just want to give you some facts on this. Okay, we'll go ahead. So I was telling you earlier, the world has gone digital now. No matter what we do, early in the morning, see, it can be digital in the sense it might be the technology as well as the internet. So when both go hand in hand, uh, like see, we consume even on internet today, 80% or 80% of the content which is consumed is video format. Okay, so the minute you go into YouTube, I'm sure you'll not be seeing one video and keeping yourself away from it. You go on watching another. So that is why they have come up with these algorithms. When you see, when you get into Instagram, you see that pattern. We always scroll, yeah, one after another. We keep seeing the reels, we keep seeing the posts, and we'll not even know the time. We'll not know how the time goes by when you're doing that. The same thing on YouTube as well. The format is like you scroll, you go through the videos, you browse. So when you're doing that, on the other end, The companies are seeing in another perception. Okay, you're watching it for free, or you might even have made a very minimal investment getting a premium account. You're not getting ads, but still their videos are being shown to you, correct? So then you get noted as a unique visitor. That if you've taken premium, that's different. But in general, you're watching a video and then you get an ad. So why are they placing that ad? Okay, it's just not you out there who's seeing that. There are millions and billions of people watching the same kind of in I mean different pattern and different content maybe, but we'll be the way we'll be watching the video will be similar across the world, and that is why they're so successful today. All right, you can take example of Google. The minute I want to know, as simple as I want to know the spelling of a word, I go into Google and search. If I want to know a meaning of a word, I go to Google. Anything I really need to know about something, the first thing than asking someone next to us, because we're not sure whether they know that themselves. Okay? They would it's not we're not sure if they would be knowing. Much better option would be search on Google. Okay? There is an estimate there are around 2 trillion searches every year on Google. So 2 trillion, that's a huge number. And it can be specific, it can be general. And with this, they understand the pattern, what people are searching for. And like I was telling you, there's another perception. Here, let me go back to Facebook now. When you're creating a Facebook account, are you paying anything for it? No, right? It's free of cost. So you create your account. So when you create your account, they are getting data. Okay? They're getting details. And the minute you create an account, you're also getting categorized. Okay, so one perception is, okay, I'm in Facebook, I'm there to network with my friends, share my you know my experiences. If I go somewhere, I check in. Then if I travel, I put up the post photos of it. Any special occasion, again I share that. Any milestones in my life, I updated that. So that's only my perception where I'm sharing it to Facebook and just my friends around is what I think. On the other end, definitely Facebook is a safe place. You don't have to worry. On the other end, you are getting categorized. So each time you given the details like the location you stay in, and what is that education you've done so far. There, Facebook on the other end, it's categorizing. Okay, so there it'll say these many millions of people are of this age group, these many millions of people like this topic or this you can say this kind of food, so your preferences, so on that you're getting categorized. So on the other perception, the marketers are getting these details. Okay, so something free of cost is definitely has should be having an agenda, but it's it definitely, don't worry. What I'm telling you is, now on the other side, they're getting the details. As a marketer now, I can get to know these many people are interested in this sort of cuisine. They're interested in this location. So I can promote. Okay. Think if you're a travel agent and if you want to promote a place in Goa. So from the time you plan your trip and not even your trip, like from how you book your hotels there, you want to go around, look for the places which are good. So what are all the things you'll think of? You'll look up a good video on YouTube on blog, good blogger would have gone before you and shown places. Then you'll see the best hotels there and your mode of transport. Everything we'll be doing on the digital front. So day in and out, we're using technology and internet to make use of to make our life convenient. Also get the best options possible. So I gave you the examples of YouTube, Facebook, and Google so far. Again, most of you would be familiar with Twitter, but I'm sure not many of us will be using it because we'll not be getting much of likes and shares like that we'll be getting on Instagram and Facebook. But it's great platform to know what's exactly happening in the world. Okay, so 1 out of 3 people in the world have internet access. So that's a huge number. I think we're close to around 7 billion people today. I think a little more than that. So I think out of which 4+ billion have access to internet, and they're even on Facebook. They say they're around estimates of around 2.7 active billion users. So that is one of the world's biggest networking platform. So two things: one, your friends, your family, everyone is out there. But for a marketer, it's just a category of audience who I have the best opportunity to show my product and service. Okay, so there's always two perspectives. So you're not paying any money to get yourself registered on Facebook. So you're giving in that valuable data for the marketers to understand this is the segment of people where they can target and get their motives in terms of sales, getting leads, and all that. So as we do campaigns, we'll get a better clarity of this. We'll be doing ad campaigns in Facebook, paid marketing, then in Google Ads. So that point of time, you'll come back to this point and understand what I'm talking about. Okay, India is the second highest user of internet. I think we are followed by China. We are the most internet and data consuming country. And thanks to Geo, they revolutionized and reached out to everyone possible. So even before there was internet, but the accessibility, the price point was a little high. So Geo came in and they tipped it over. So literally now everyone have an access to internet. So that has been a boon as well, correct? So the ones who didn't have access now it's more convenient for them, and either they can be the service provider or they can avail the service product and service themselves. Okay, imagine how many people are depending on Swiggy and Zomato. For us, it's a requirement. I know we need it that point of time, but it's a necessity for them. It's a day-to-day requirement. They need to, take up the job, make that extra bucks for themselves, earn a living. They would be doing a day job and by night. So for them now, with that, easier access to internet, they're able to give you that service. So that is the importance of internet today, and also the technology and these applications basically. So I was telling you day in and day out. So shopping. If you think of shopping, what is that first thing that comes to your mind? So you want to shop? Yeah, you can use the chat section. Let me know. If you want to shop, where would you? No, I'm not changing slides. Anushka, I'm not changing slides. I'm just explaining you. I'll let you know when I change slides. So let me know in the chat section if you're thinking of shopping, where would you shop? Anything in general, electronics, yes, Amazon. You shop for dresses, okay. But where would you shop for dresses? Mintra, all these places. So basically, yeah, Flipkart. I would have been happy if that was the first answer, Flipkart. So that's a Indian-based company. Overall, anything we want, the first thing we do is we go on to Amazon, and that's how we're making Bezos one of the richest man in the world. We also give it a shot for Flipkart. Consider Flipkart. Okay, there's Mintra, there's Flipkart, there's so many places. So they're very convenient, in terms of you buy a product and service, you're not happy with it, there's always a chance of giving it back, returning to them and getting another product or service. So they have brought the value addition to such a level which was not possible before. I mean, you go into a store, you buy, a smartphone itself before. Uh, the kind of service that you had to, again go back to them, that was not to the level what is today. It was not acceptable. Something happens, they say one sold is sold, but now it's not so, because you have this channel. I mean, this place where you can write in your review. Correct? You're not happy with the product, you can write in a review, and many others who intend to buy after you will not be but going for that product. So you're creating a platform and creating an awareness. So now the vendor or the person who's selling this has to be very careful. So that's what we see, and there are a lot of funny, you know, feedbacks and reviews also on Amazon. You'll just see that later point of time. Trust me, today I was just for a student, I was explaining Google Business. That's basically the first concept we'll start after this introduction class. You won't believe, I saw a petrol pump, okay, a gas station, which had a wonderful set of reviews. If you can find that, I'll just share it with you. I was amazed to see people are writing reviews for, you know, a petrol pump or a gas station. And the other side, there was this gentleman who owned that business. He's replying back to them in a very nice way, like that I would have seen in you know, the higher end fine dining restaurants or the 5-star hotels. Would be having an actual social media managers who would go out and respond. But seeing a gas station or a petrol pump doing that was very surprising for me today. So he went and, you know, saying thank you for considering our service, and I'll try sharing it. It'll be much better. Somewhere in Baswanguri, this person had done it. So the ones who had given negative comments, he was also very sweet enough to say, I regret the experience and all that. So that we usually used to get to see in the higher end places. So it's just it's matter of awareness, and anyone can do it. And believe me, there were around 700 plus reviews for a petrol pump. That was really surprising. Okay, so now if in that 700 reviews, I'm not sure if I'll be seeing reviews and going for a petrol pump. If I'm short of my fuel, I'll just head over to the nearest one. But over time, even if they're doing it on a really good, you know, platform, and such positive feedbacks are coming up for them, it's definitely a very, you know, credible point for them where people can uh, bet on that, and that's a point of trust. So after which they'll blindly be going to that place. Okay. Then if you think of groceries today, have you heard of this brand called Zepto, which came in quite recently? If yes, let me know in the chat section. Yeah. So yeah, they are fairly a new brand compared to the ones which were there before. Big Basket, Super Daily. Uh, Super Daily will be an everyday application. You can ask your parents at home; they'll be getting their, you know, dairy products to home. So Big Basket has been there for a long time. The company. So who providing you groceries and anything you want right away. So Zepto was very interesting brand to watch because they came in recently, and the level of marketing they did, not just digital marketing, they did even traditional marketing, where they went, you know, they collected details of, uh, I think most of them, when I observed, they were mostly college students doing the campaign. They had a small canopy and they were giving out goodies. So it was surprised to see they did this all over the city in certain point of time, like one date to that scheduled it, and it was all around the city. So also in the meanwhile, they were, you know, putting up boards to the when you see houses, no parking for, you know, boards, and everywhere. I think even they went into, you know, these pamphlets and flyers. So they went in through the traditional method, also the digital marketing. So they were running ads on Facebook, Insta, and all these places. I think even on YouTube, a couple of ads came in. Not sure. So their USP was get it delivered in 10 minutes. But I just went through the reviews on you know, their platform, and it wasn't great. But their strategy of getting into the market was great. In short amount of time, like everyone are familiar with that brand. If not, we have Big Basket, which has been there for a long time. There is Super Daily, which I already told you. And then next, if you're planning for a trip, you have Make My Trip, you have Trivago, you have Booking.com, and all these places will help you plan your trip from your flights to where you stay and whatnot. And when you think of stay, you have you have Oyo, you have Airbnb. If you want unique experiences, like if you have a property, like outside Bangalore, which you're not using it, you can always rent it out to Airbnb. And trust me, there are people who a very strange experience I had is, if you heard of Sriharikota, that's a rocket launch site somewhere down, somewhere near Chennai. I mean, very familiar. That's the only rocket launch site we have right now, I guess. So there, even on the island, there is an Airbnb place, literally an island where you have to go through a boat, and someone is making use of that. So they know this is such a unique place, and during rocket launches, that is getting booked. So I think I was there to witness Chandrayaan 2, and that is when I was just looking for places to stay there. And that was one of the weirdest places where they're making the possibilities. If not, how many people would have known there is a place you can book during these kind of special events of launches? So that is literally on an island. He was charging a good sum, I think around 3,000 or 4,000 for 2 days. For 2 days, that was quite nominal, and people literally book during these kind of events. Okay, then if you think about jobs, you have Naukri, you have LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Monster Jobs, and all these places, so which are made very convenient for us. Before we had to rely on someone or an agency. Now we ourselves can go list ourselves, create a profile, upload a resume, and there are more chances of us getting a job. One, see, as a student or an employee or someone who is seeking a career, you will be putting up your details there. But imagine the other point of view, where there'll be a person who needs to hire people and get them into the company. So both the purpose is being served here. Correct? Someone says, I can't see the screen, it's black for me. No, I'm not. Ishika, Sithya, I'm not sharing any screen. I'm just explaining you a few points. I'll get there. I'll let you know when I'm sharing the screen. So we were in jobs. So Glassdoor is a fantastic place where you can even get to know about what the company is about. People write reviews about it. And LinkedIn, again, I'm sure most of you would be having a profile, and they're also part of a topic which I'll be covering later on, wherein you can have a very clear one. You can network there on LinkedIn. It's see the user interface is more or less like Facebook. So I'm sure most of you who would have used it already. If not, it's quite easy. If you're familiar to Facebook, it's you can say a few steps behind Facebook, but that's on a very formal ground there. What you share, what you speak, and how you network with people. Because you'll have your bosses there, you'll have your colleagues from ex-colleagues, and they might even the future colleagues if you're networking really well. Okay, and then if you want to go from one place to another, I was telling you in terms of travel, you have Ola, Uber, Rapido. All these are making our lives easier. So there is one again, like each time I tell you, there are two perspectives. One, it's generating jobs for the people who are giving the service, and the other side, we getting the convenience of the application and the service. Finally, tomorrow you want to get married as well. There are, these. Before we had websites, shadi.com and all. Now everyone have turned into applications. Everyone have an app for it. Okay, even if you want to date best friend, Tinder, and other apps, for literally everything, we have an application for it. And imagine so many applications, so many websites. Is it not the easiest way to promote a product and service than just put ourselves out there on a TV, which I'm sure most of you, I don't know how many would be seeing the everyday serials and soaps here. We would rather prefer seeing something on YouTube, which is much uh, based on our content and interest. Yeah, forget the ads. You can skip the ads if you buy a premium version, but still, we can go right to the point of what our interest is, or Netflix, Amazon Prime. So the world has shifted to an OTT platform now. All the movies, they'll run for a couple of weeks, and then you see them on the OTT platforms. The entire world has gone digital. Just bringing you this point just to let you know how important Uh, it is for us to display our product and service on a no, digital platform over traditional. Traditional is still important. We need to have a traditional mode of marketing. It is necessary. But if you think of ROI, VFM, ROI is return on investment, value for money. It's definitely digital marketing today. So even now, with all this spoken, would you prefer a free Wi-Fi or anything else over it? If you're asked to be in a cafe or you go for vacation and take up a room, what would you prefer? Breakfast, yes, definitely. Free breakfast would be great. But again, with that free Wi-Fi, won't that be? I mean, it's become a basic amenity today, which we need to have. Okay, I'll just change the screen if possible. 1 minute. Okay, with all this, who is for whom is the digital marketing skill for? You can say skill, then make it a career. Start with skill. So it can be for any of the working professionals, correct? For any working professional. It can be for students like us who are interested to learn, add up a skill. So when we are applying for a job, this adds up as a feather in the cap, or again will take us further in the career. Add up a skill. Then for existing business owners, startups, and they'll be able to generate more leads through digital marketing. So everyone has a benefit, learning, implementing digital marketing. So also for people who would like to, this I've seen. I mean, over time as I'm training people on digital marketing, I've seen this. People who would like to change their careers, they're preferring digital marketing courses. So that'll help them get change their careers. They want to go into something else than what they're actually doing right now. Okay. Now let's see the actual definition of what digital marketing. And a very easy term. Everyone, don't worry, I'm not sharing. Okay, now I'm just starting. Yeah, is the screen visible now? Are you seeing digital marketing on the screen? Just type one or yes or whatever in the chat section. No? Okay. Okay, 1 minute. I'll just try. Okay, give me a minute. I'll start it. As long as you can hear me, that's great. The screen, I'll be working on it. I think it should be visible now. Yes? Check now. Okay, great. Okay. So digital marketing. What is digital marketing? Any kind. So all this time I was telling you about what marketing is. So marketing, again, you can see, have a look here. Any action or business of promoting and selling products or services, which includes market research and advertising, that uses electronic devices to convey the promotional message and measure its impact. So this we wouldn't have had in the traditional mode of marketing. We wouldn't have been getting we couldn't have measured the impact. So tomorrow you run an ad on your, the Hindu, the Times of India. Say you work for BMW and you're running or you have a deal, you're a dealer of one of the dealership, you own a dealership of a BMW, and you put up an ad on the newspaper. Many would be really appreciating how the car looks, how swanky, and they'll be having that you know the feeling to own the BMW one day. But how long and what would they do from it? So you're basically reaching out to mass, big number of people. You're doing a reach campaign there in that traditional media. So you'll be reaching out. So some may appreciate the car. Someone feel like, okay, I need to own it one day. It might create a goal for them. But for the actual dealer, he has put up the ad so he gets more sales. He'll be able to sell more cars, more of his BMW cars. But the same thing you do on a digital marketing platform, you'll be able to target those kind of people who already own such cars, have preference for that, and are in for such kind of brands, and their pockets are deep. So you can basically target people here, and you don't have to spend so much as you would do on a traditional medium on a digital marketing platform. So what the definition says is marketing that uses electronic devices. So electronic devices can be your I mean, now you're using your cell phone to attend this class. It can be a tablet, it can be a desktop, a laptop, any form of these electronic devices. Maybe down the line we'll be even accessing through our smart watches. You don't know what the tech is going to come. So these electronic devices, through help of technology and internet, to convey the promotional message and measure its impact. So the last word is very important: measure its impact. If you can write down this, great. I'll be talking about other things too. If you find time, just write in these definitions. On the other hand, you can say digital marketing typically refers to marketing campaigns, that appear on your, see again, I'll put the images there, that appear on your your PC or desktop or laptop, on your mobile or tablets, all these devices. And it can take any forms. In the sense, it can be an online video, it can be a display ad. So when you go into these websites, to the left and right you'll be seeing these banner ads, and you'll be seeing in a place to the right column you'll be seeing advertisement, display ads. Let me just 1 minute. I'm turning off the screen. I'll just share my entire screen so you can see the examples I'm showing. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. This time I'm just sharing the entire screen. So if I go into other web browsers, I'll be able to. Okay. So I'll go into Google. Just a small information here. So now the minute. So what is Google basically? It's a search engine. Okay. Any kind of query I have, anything I want to know, I can always put it out there and get the results. So what you're seeing right now is the home page of a search engine. Now here, this search box, what you see here, is called a query box. So there you put in your queries. So I just wanted to type Times of India. And the minute I type search, I search for it, the next page what you see will be SERP, search engine result page. So with what query you had previously, you entered your query, and that's some content you're looking out for. And after which, the first thing what you see would be SERP, search engine result page. So that's taking me to the site of the Times of India website. I'm able to access it easily. I mean, if I knew it earlier, I can directly type Times of India in my address bar, the URL there, and go right on. But we still prefer. That's how much we're dependent on Google for every step. Okay, the first thing what you're seeing right now is again an ad. This is a pop-up ad. So before I go into the actual page, I'm seeing a pop-up ad. You see here, you see advertisement. They use Ranbir Kapoor, so that again adds home factor there. Okay, as you go in here, you to the right side, I think. So most of us, why would we come to Times of India? I mean, I'm sure most of you will be using InShots and the other kind of applications to know about current trends and all that, or some Facebook pages who are really updated on the content. But still, we still have people who come up on places like this, Times of India, the Hindu, and they try to know. Now, the minute I open this site, there was a pop-up for a second. I think it's closed now. And to the left and right, you're seeing these ads. These are called display ads. Okay, we can do this on Google Ads, and I think they changed it. Yeah. And as you scroll down, again you'll find more. If there's any delay, please let me know. Okay, see here, it clearly says advertisement. So the site was, when it was designed, and they're given these spaces, so the ads can be put out, and that's one way they're generating their revenue as well. Especially these publications. Just an example: if you buy any of these, uh, the bigger newspapers, they would be costing how much? Around 4 or 5 rupees. When you buy Times of India, Hindu, 3 4 rupees, yeah. But trust me, there's a stats that it would cost them more than that to print. And how are they covering those charges? How are they getting their, the break even is through advertising. But the same thing, if you see regional newspapers, they will be costing much less, and they would have more content and less ads. So we'll get to know, which is paid and how it goes. Just to throw some light there. And same here again, when you see you have display ads, one to the left and here, so they be there. As you scroll down through the site as well, there will be places where you'll be finding. And this is just one site I'm just showing you. There are millions of these sites which Google has, I mean, the websites have tied up with Google to show their ads. So this is basically display ads, which we'll be doing in the later part of time. Okay. I'm just turning off the screen again, and I'll be sharing the slide base. 1 minute. Okay, I opened a couple of presentation. Let me just check. Give me a minute. So similarly, we can run ads on YouTube. We can create paid marketing campaigns on Facebook. All these places we can run our ads. Okay, I found this slide delay. I guess it's 1 minute. Ah, I'll share the screen again. Just let me know if it's visible. It just closed on for some reason. Let's try to. So when you create a Facebook page as well, you can create posts which are organic, and you can have posts which are paid. So you have both the forms, and so paid. See, if you put up a post on your Facebook business page or fan page, whatever you create, there are chances of that post will be showing up to your friends and your circle around, say, around 10 to 15%. You want to reach more people, only option you have is to go into promoting on a paid platform, So you need to shell out some money and run a campaign, and definitely trust me, it works. The kind of reach and awareness it has is twice better. And you also try, reach out to people outside your circle. That is a great point out there. Not just to your followers and fans, but also you'll be able to reach out to people who are not in your circle. Okay. I'm sharing the screen now. Just let me know if it's visible. Okay, it should be visible now. Okay, so I was telling you in form of display ads. So I just showed you the example on Times of India, how there are so many display ads, and like that, there are millions of websites and all across the world. So the opportunity to, for everyone to show up their ad and definitely get good business. And even in this format, basically display ads, I don't know if you would have observed that when you go into these kind of sites, it will be mostly the insurance and the finance companies who put in a lot of money in creating display ads. They basically are, they're topping the list in terms of putting up display ads. The other categories as well, where you saw, how housing loan, basically finance and um, these kind of companies tend to spend more on display ads. Okay, then social media posts. I was just telling you how you can create. So if you have a normal post, so you can create a page and just have a good creative and post consistently. So people who follow you and have interest for that category uh, of topic, they are likely to follow and like you, like those posts. But if you want to reach people outside that circle, you definitely have to go into paid marketing. You need to create a campaign and spend. So till there, see, Facebook is giving you an opportunity to do this without any commercial terms. But if you want to reach more people and create more awareness about your brand and your product and service, you need to take up a paid format, and that works. Okay, so are we clear with digital marketing? So any marketing that uses electronic devices to convey promotional messages and measure its impact. Okay, I just showed you some examples on that again. So next, so you can see two perspectives here. I hope the slide is being shown and there's no delay. There are two perspectives here. One, I was telling you, like if you're a user of Facebook, you're putting in your details like your activities, daily activities, or you're trying to use Facebook as a blog, as a memory line where you want to put a post and let people know what you're doing. I'm sure your Facebook friends, will be knowing more about you than your family, because all the details, more or less, how you travel, what you like, they'll be knowing more, correct? So I mean, I think most of us have now, moved over to Instagram from Facebook. So that happens each time a technology is more convenient and trending. We tend to move from one platform to another. Uh, and Facebook, for that matter, again, I'll come back to that topic. They are not just surviving; they're thriving. Any technology that comes up, they'll be the first one to either acquire the entire company or implement that technology. For that example, they acquired Insta, and some point of time these virtual reality came into such hype. They acquired Oculus VR. It's a very big virtual reality company, and now that with that, that's they're coming up with Facebook Metaverse, and it's a virtual reality uh, space where people can buy those spaces and interact uh, throughout the world in form of holograms and all that. A lot of things are coming up. So Facebook is investing on that. So I think a third topic will be Facebook once we're done with Google business. So I'll give you more details once we're there. So coming to this slide, what you're seeing, I hope it's visible for you all. So there are two perspectives here: as a customer and as a marketer. So as a customer, I'll be able to, again, with the example of Facebook, I'll be able to find my friends who have not been in contact for a long time. I can, if they're my school friends, my college friends, my colleagues, with by searching their name, looking out for their email address, I can find them and network, interact with them again. But for the business or a marketer, it is creating more number of logins, more number of audiences which give out for the market. I mean, for Facebook can give out to the marketers. So more impressions, more clicks, more conversions. So there are two perspectives. That's why I just brought up the slide. So when you say in terms of access, is it not very accessible today for us? Just touch of a button or something like that. It's come reality. You can use your phone, like I was telling you earlier. You can book a ride from one point A to point B. You can book a place to stay. You can order food from wherever you are at any point of time, which was not possible before. Once the hotel shut down, we will have another option. But now 24/7, I am sure there are cloud kitchens giving out those services. So accessibility has gone uh, many folds up for the customer, how easily they can access the products and services. So through their mobile phones, their desktop, and even I was telling you of OTT, like if you're not willing to go to the theaters, in just couple of weeks you'll be seeing that on Amazon and Netflix, all the big movies. But before you had to wait for a long time. Okay. On the other hand, the next point, it's inexpensive, correct? Inexpensive. Availing for a customer to avail digital marketing services, products or services, it's less comparatively than before. One, they have the opportunity to get the service directly from the merchant. There's no middleman here, and also the options are very high. So one person is giving out at say around 800 rupees. There'll always be another vendor who will be selling the same product or service at much lesser cost, correct? So we'll see if the same product and service, and we'll always go for the better option, much economic version. But again, we should see the other side as well, how reliable they are. But if the same is product and service and is being given by another dealer for a better rate, definitely we'll be go there. Another vendor for better rate. We'll always consider the lesser rate, right? So it's much inexpensive and range of options. The range of options which we have now because of that is huge. So imagine number of ice cream companies we had before, number of brands we had for fast food, and today like everything in the world has come to us, correct? Because we are also quite I mean, we have advanced in terms of technology, and even our pockets have grown bigger than before. I mean, in general population, I'm talking about. So the range of options have increased for us as customers. It has become very inexpensive. So then competitive tools. Earlier, I was telling you about Amazon and Flipkart. So there's a product and service which the person who's selling it to you, the seller, is giving out a product and service which is not up to the mark and not to the expectation they would have described on the Amazon page of where they're selling on the e-commerce site. So you have a person who would have bought the same product service earlier. Another option is you can do a little bit of research on YouTube, find out what it is. I'm sure for each and everything out there, there's a person who's putting out a review. They literally review everything now, from a small street side, food cart to where you get. Trust me, there are videos on Chor Bazaar. Like literally everything is there. So there are people out there who are creating content with no boundaries, and that can be one of the competitive tools. On a Not on a funny line, but also on a serious note, you can find out whatever you need to know as a customer. Customers are more aware now, knowledgeable. Okay, you can get to know about product and service very easily. So all these reviews and scales and feedbacks, so this has created a competitive tool for the customer to know what should he be going for when he's making the purchase. And finally, individual attention. So individual attention, this always reminds me of Krispy Kremes. So when you go into their outlet, you buy something, or even Starbucks for that matter, they take in your details, and any special occasions they follow up with you, and they would have taken the details. And one more funny trick you should be knowing, that's happening across the globe. When you go into Starbucks, they intentionally write your name wrong. I'm sure you would have seen videos of that as well. So that was one of the strategy as well. To just they write in a funny way, and you go have a conversation. So they even ran that campaign. So all these companies, so selling you Chris Pickens, you go and they take in your details, and after a while, if you haven't visited their store, they they intimate you with an SMS, an email, letting you know there's a new set of donuts have come in, new flavors are coming, and same I think with Domino's, whoever, they'll be keeping you updated on the new line of products and services, on any offers they're coming up with shortly. If it's your special occasion, they'll be individually sending you that greetings. So all is possible because of digital marketing. And next, specific searches. Uh, so minute I asked what would we be looking out for. Someone has had sent in dresses, okay, dresses, and so they're very clear what they want. Now, as I go into Google, I can search in terms of a general, or if I'm very clear. See, if I look for dresses on Google, I'll get a lot of options. But if I'm more specific, dresses in dress, how can I say that? Designer wears in Bangalore, designer wear near me. I'm more specific, so I'll be getting specific searches, and just according to from where I am. That's again and the next topic which we'll be covering. That is local SEO. Okay, Google Business. So there you'll get to see a lot more on this. So specific searches. If I'm searching for restaurants around me, near me, I'll be getting only restaurants near me and with all the details. Okay, I'll be able to see their rating. I'll be able to see their feedbacks. How are they handling the customers? At just one touch, I'll get to know all these details. So it can be any kind of product and service. Tomorrow you want to have, a service, your urban club. They have personalized to such a level. They give you services at home now. So you don't have to go for a salon at your convenience at your home. The people coming in and providing a service. Again, the other side, many people are freelancing. They have uh, quit their 9 to 5 jobs and got into these services. Again, each time a technology or anything that develops, uh, more people are availing that service. On the other end, there are jobs being created for that. Okay. So this is really good. That's another benefit which is coming into perspective. And now, if you go into, okay, are we clear with customer point of view? I just noted down a few points here. Just let me know in the comment section. If I'm going fast, I'll slow down. All okay? I hope you all are there. Yeah, okay, great. Now I'm getting the replies. Oh, great. Okay. Now we see in point of view of a marketer. So for me, it's more relevant now. All right. Before I was telling you, if I promoted on a traditional market, whether they like it, they have preference or not, I used to put up the ad, and it used to go to everyone. I give you the example of BMW ad on the newspaper. So they would see, and just like I told you, if they have a requirement, or it might create an urge down the line, maximum they'll see, appreciate, and change over to the next page, what they'll be, which will be more important for them to know on their daily life. But if I run a campaign or digital marketing just for those kind of premium customers who would be interested in buying such expensive product product, which is a car, there, I am likely to sell more. Correct. See, if I do the awareness, I'll reach more people. Correct. But again, you might not know, when you do a digital marketing campaign for much lesser and a very accurate target, there are chances of you getting equal number of leads and conversions than running such a huge campaign for which will be of folds. much higher than digital marketing. So it's more relevant for me. I can also bring in another phrase here. So now before we had this like finding the right people. So with relevance at this point, I can say being found by the right people. That has uh, come into existence now because of digital marketing. We are found by the right people. We put ourselves out there. We create a visibility. That's again the next process. I guess we'll be covering that tomorrow. There's a digital marketing process. So visibility, then very similar to what you saw in the marketing. So visibility, and then bringing your target audience, then engagement. How do you engage them? Giving product, details about your product and services. And the next part would be conversion, and finally retention. So on all these lines, it's much relevant now. Okay, it's much relevant for a marketer to directly find his audience segment and sell his product or service. And next point, personalization. So very similar to the last point of customer perspective, here I'll be able to personalize for every segment of customers if possible individually. I don't know how much of individual. If I have a very short number of people, I can do it. On a wider audience, like there are three, four types of audiences basically. You have affinity audience, you have in-market audience, and also you have uh, similar or lookalike audience. So there are chances of you to target these lookalike audiences who might have preference of same as your affinity or in-market. So what is affinity and in-market audience? See, affinity basically means like. You have a liking towards a certain topic or certain content that you prefer. See, if you like food, you're a foodie, you always will be checking out some groups who on Facebook who constantly go to places, put up posts on them consistently, or even on Instagram. There's so many influencers who always check out the new places in Bangalore. I'm sure some of them here also you would be doing that. We might have an influence, I don't know. So who would be posting about the latest and the greatest places where the party is happening, where there's a great cafe, and all these updates you'll be putting up on your Instagram page. So when you share these details, you can find the right audience, and you can personalize to them. Okay, depending on the likes and their pattern, how are they, purchasing. So all this I can personalize. I can target those audience and uh, sell my product and service to them. So then you have high measurability. Like I told you, the definition itself here. When I run a digital marketing campaign, it says any marketing that uses electronic devices to convey the promotional message. The promotional message can be you sending out an offer or you're creating value for them. If they buy in this particular point of time, they'll be getting more than what actually they'll be availing. And over that, after that message, next is you'll be measuring the impact. So what has that campaign got out of, what have you got out of the campaign? So it's high measurability. So every social media platforms going forward, if you see Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they have all these platforms, they have something called as insights and analytics. So there I'll be getting to know how many people I've reached, where are these people, what gender are they, and what point of time are they seeing my ad, and all these kind of details, the age group, even if it's across India, wherever, you'll be getting these details. So that is the measurability factor here. That's the analytics, where you run a campaign, you'll be getting to know how has a campaign performed, for whom has it been shown, how many clicks, so what are the leads you got out of this. All these details you'll be getting through analytics. So it's on a marketer perspective, it is high measurability. I can get to know where am I putting my money on. So that is the ROI, return on my investment. We also have another concept which is called ROS, I guess, ROAS, return on ad spends. So how much you spend and what is the return you got on that. then this is a very level playing field. So if I start a business tomorrow, I am on a very level playing field with my competitors who already exist and really doing good for themselves. As in, I'll be getting the same kind of tools when I start. So it can be when I tell you about channels of marketing, which is coming up next, you'll get to know. I'll be able to access the same social media. Their pockets might be deeper than mine, but I'll be able to still access the basic version, or I can get into the battlefield or the playing field. I can start my business. I can start getting some leads as to run my business, and which will be enough for me to, which will suffice my requirements to initially start to trigger the business. That would be quite sufficient. So it's a level playing field. You start tomorrow, you're starting later, you always have an opportunity with the existing competitors, any other brands. So we should always have a better access now through digital marketing. Then higher scope of manage engagement. So I was telling you in marketing, if you don't engage your customers, they are have a high chance of going to other brands very easily, because the range of options are so high. If not you, another person will be engaging them in selling the product or service. So we should make sure we engage them and consistently follow. Follow up is consistency, and follow up is like the core concept of any sales and marketing, to be honest. And unless you present yourself out there, be known by the people you are there, you exist. They see that. That's why there's this phrase, out of sight is out of mind. So you need to always be there, show yourself up. So even in sales, see, I come from sales background. So we are to create, to convert one lead, it generally used to take months together, because those were capital investments which were very high on price, and to convince these people who had to go into big finances to buy, say the product was worth around 1 crore, that's a lot of investment, and they'll be using this product for 5 years. So one person buys that equipment for next 5 years, he'll okay, say a shorter rate around 4 years, he'll not be going for another. So a very small segment of people, and their purchase cycle is like 4 to 5 years. Imagine how much of cycle you should do to convince them and get that level of credibility. And then finally, if you're lucky and you do a lot of work and get their trust factor, then you come into the profitability factor. They'll say, okay, I can trust this guy, and start giving you sales. So here again, you need to keep them engaged consistently. Have a great platform. Say if you have a good Instagram account, your business account, you should be seeing these social media influencers who go on posting on every day the stories and reels and whatnot on everyday basis. So they keep them self engaged. Okay, that is one, and I think we are 7:30. Okay, last point. I'll keep this last point for tomorrow, because that's the very important and interesting topic which I can give you a lot of examples. Let's start the session with the ability to go viral tomorrow. Uh, yeah, so the session is going to be from Monday to Friday, and we'll be meeting at, I think, yeah, 6 to 7:30. Okay, sure. Then, yeah, try joining in a little earlier. That will be helpful, so we can start on time and end on time. No, I don't have the authority to that. You can just talk to the organizer, and they'll let you know. I've been instructed to come on this time, so I'll be taking the classes at this time. You can have a word with your team. Attendance, I'll be marking it for you. You don't have to worry about it. Just be present. That should be sufficient. So if you attend the session, the attendance will be marked by itself. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be meeting tomorrow, same time, 6 to 7:30. We'll start with ability to go viral tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
everyone.